Hello, Scorpio North Node. Welcome to your 3-month forecast for December, January, February. So December 2022 to February 2023. I'm Samara, your Feminist Alchemist. So let me start off by saying these are general readings and the messages may not resonate with everybody. So just take what strikes a chord with you and leave the rest for whoever else in your Scorpio North Node collective needs to hear that message at this time. If you are feeling this video, you can give it a like, a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. It helps me connect to your energy and it signals to the guides that you would like messages for you to come through the Feminist Alchemist channel. And click the bell to be notified when I upload. So that, I think, is all of the basics. Well, I think there's a bit more. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I only read for the North Node when I do these type of readings. So not your sun sign, not your moon sign, and not your rising sign. So if you are here looking for Scorpio, it must be your North Node placement. That is my directive. If you are not 100% sure where your North Node placement is, please feel free to visit my website, which I've linked in the description box below as well. And there's a chart there where you can easily look up where the North Node was on your birthday. What else do you need to know? If you're not sure what the North Node is, you could check out a short intro video that I have also linked in the description box. And this spread that I do is devised by my guides for the North Node only. So we start with, I'll timestamp every section because the reading takes about an hour and you may not be able to watch it in one sitting. And of course, because this concerns 3 months, you may want to come back and review a certain section. So the first set of cards I pull out from the first deck is the overarching or universal energies, as we call them. We being me and my guides. And those are the overarching themes in your life, energy that is making itself, let's say, bringing itself to the forefront for you to work with during the next 3 months. Your 5D cards is your 5D self, your expanded self, your future self, sending messages to you about what areas they would like you to look at in order to fuel your expansion. Then the 3D cards will give us insight into what is happening in your 3D physical reality that is showing itself as opportunities for that growth. Then we ask how we can bridge the 3D and the 5D, so your advice for navigating that transition, that growth. This month I am asking about the portal of your heart and what needs to come through it. So I felt that there's been a lot of shadow work and recognition of the shadow and integration of the shadow. And so I felt that what needs to come through the heart in the next 3 months, what needs to be cleared out, what needs to be worked out, and what needs to be brought from the metaphysical into the physical. It was a good question to have to kind of close off that part of the reading. And then I pull 2 final oracle cards and read straight from the guidebook to wrap everything up. And that is how this works. So I think that's it. We will start Scorpio North Node with your universal energies. Oh, I do personal readings as well. I have a limited number available for your 2023 readings that I've linked in the description box, and it's also on my website. So your first card is Worthy. Violet Flame. Manifest. Thank you. Mediumship. Ooh, I like this. Ooh. All right. If I read them all together, I see Scorpio North Node that your sense of self-worth has the potential, or you have the potential in the next 3 months to really amplify your sense of self-worth. That energy is there for you to grab onto and work with. This process will require the violet flame because there's a lot that needs to be transmuted, burned away, released, so that you can re-energize yourself. I see that you may have attachments to people, memories, experiences that are kind of draining on your life force. Not kind of. They are draining on your life force. And they're draining on your ability to kind of show up for yourself, be there for yourself, and act from a place of confidence rather than a place of doubt or fear. Manifest, you have and I see like the green to be like parrot / peacock feathers and lots of color. So there's energy for you as well to really make anything you want. And they're bringing to my attention, for example, I was asking, what should I do next? And they're telling me, it's like, well, what do you want? So I feel like they're bringing this to me because we often think that we underestimate how much influence we have in choosing our path. There are attributes that our soul wants to express, but there's a lot of choice in how we express that. And that starts with understanding the vibration you want to live in. So it's less about what you do, but the feeling it gives you and the energy and intention you put behind it. That's what I'm getting from manifest. In mediumship, I think that's fairly clear. Some of you may be, I just see the crown chakra opening completely to receive messages. Mediumship is a little bit different than channeling, or some people would. I would separate the two. They usually say channeling and mediumship is more people who have passed on. Earthly beings who are no longer in the earthly plane, whereas channeling may be beings that have never even been in the earthly plane. That is my very rough definition or separation of the two. But in your case, mediumship, I feel for some of you it is a very clear, like you actually do have a calling in mediumship. And for some of you, it's you have a team, an ancestral team that you don't call on enough, if at all. And you become more sensitive. You have the opportunity to become more aware and more sensitive to the energies around you of family members past, ancestors who have passed on. I'm going to look in the 5D because I also feel like this particular card of mediumship is also not as literal, in that you may be in a situation where you are called to be the vehicle for a certain change, certain healing in your family. Okay, we're on to your 5D cards. So we have intuition and divine masculine. They came out together, so I'm just asking which way to put them down. Okay. There's going to be a third card here, which I usually wouldn't, but they want one there. Friendship. So I'm just going to get all of these 5D cards before I move on. Reflection. Okay. Have compassion and fourth chakra. Lots of green. And one more. Remembrance. Okay. Okay, with the intuition card, I'm getting here that you actually, for some of you, it's coming through your dreams, or it's coming through in like random thoughts that come through your head and you don't think much of them, but they're signaling something that you have not let go of. So you may have memories of a friend or not such a friend, high school. I don't know why they're pointing me to like teenage memories, places, situations in which you felt disempowered or which you're still angry. So there are places where you are still holding. Part of me wants to say holding a grudge. The other part of me wants to say holding on, just holding on, period, to a feeling, to something that no longer exists. So it keeps replaying itself in your energetic field because it is not, you're not able, or you have not let it go yet. And you have a strong intuition, and your intuition has definitely been building, and you should use it for yourself, for your own healing. Divine masculine is coming through in a way where you need to allow your intuition to be real, like not figments of your imagination. I'm getting for you, Scorpio North Node, let's also embrace the fact that Scorpio is a very mystical sign. A lot of understanding the undercurrents of things. That's when they are gaining some type of self-mastery where they don't just let the undercurrents sweep them away, but they are aware. Then mystical magic and reading between the lines is a very Scorpio energy. But you may not be leaning into that, or you may be doubting that those feelings, those impulses are real. I just realized that, okay, because the deck that I shuffle, excuse me, is two decks put together. And so you got the card 22 twice, 222. So I'm going to read the Divine Masculine and I'm going to read Friendship. The frequency of Divine Masculine supports our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. And then Friendship, the energy of friendship supports our intrinsic desire for connection with others based on mutual affection and appreciation. And it's interesting because connection to what I said in the opening, with the opening four cards, there is something for me coming through with the company you keep and friends who have disappointed you. Sometimes romantic relationships come through, but for this one, I'm definitely feeling friendship, being disappointed by friends, having reduced or lowered your standards or your expectations from friendships because you figure that people just don't operate from the same space that you do, and end up being shady and deceptive. And so there's healing around friendship that needs to happen. And for some of you, you have to confront this very directly. You may have a friend in your circle who like you don't have you may or may not have direct evidence of them being shady or a less than noble friend, but you just have this feeling that they are talking behind your back or don't fully respect you, respect your opinions. They don't fully accept you. And this, your guides, your higher self is saying that you deserve more than that and you should speak your truth. Although I feel some of you have this fear of being gaslighted and them telling you that you're crazy or whatever. And I'm saying, well, you can also take that as a sign that they're not really for you, because anyone who genuinely cares about you will care about how you feel, right, in a situation. And it's not about who's right. It's about respecting that, you feel certain ways when they say or do certain things, or, the relationship feels imbalanced for you. Reflection, the energy of reflection supports our growth through the insights we get from the contemplations of self and others. And this is card 33. So there is a necessity to reflect on the core relationships of your life, and some of them not even the core, but relationships past. I'm getting, because it's close to mediumship here, I'm also getting family relations. But there is definitely a lot here about having external expectations forced upon you. And I feel some of you who are very sensitive, and people don't realize how much they hurt you in not supporting you or accepting you the way you are, or they're more extroverted, tough, which can be a good thing in some aspects of life, but could also be a not so good thing, But whatever the case, whatever you find when you reflect, it must be approached with compassion for yourself and the other people involved, which can be difficult because in our anger and sadness and hurt, we tend towards blame. The card says the frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. I feel for some of you, during Scorpio and North Node, there's always this very specific person's energy who I feel. And this person, it may be more than one of you, but this person is in a job that they never really wanted to be in. Like, they're in a good job, it looks good on them, it looks good on their family, but they do not feel embraced by their family. Everything was about achieving. And metrics for achieving, and all of the worth was based on that. The reflection and compassion comes in here because if that is your case, so I'm speaking to a specific person or a specific subsection of people, if that is the case for you, there's also a need for you to understand why achievement is so important in your family. Because I get the distinct feeling that there was either poverty, war, refugee, like a need to escape a political situation, living in a new country, and the parents needing to work very hard to establish a life. And that puts certain demands then on the children when they grow up, or as they grow up, because the parents want to maintain that level of success, and they see success in a narrow view. And there's nothing positive or negative about that. That's compassion. That's what happens when you view from compassion. You can understand how they got to the place they are and why they continue to operate from the place that they operate. So that is a specific example, but you could also draw from that kind of a generalization of how to reflect and look back at relationships and do that from a more objective standpoint. And we get to the heart chakra that says the energy of the heart chakra supports our inner guidance system, which is governed by our heart and the capacity to love deeply. And I'm going to go straight to remembrance as well because they want it together. The frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul in body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. Your 5D self would like you to look back on everything that you have experienced and kind of from that place start to create the life and the love and the relationships, because this specifically feels like relationships of support that you want. That needs to be created from your heart and from a genuine, like a place of believing that the healing is already done and that life and those relationships are very easily, like it's not about attaining them. It's just about aligning with them and creating the environment where those things can exist. And that environment is nurtured and built, created from your heart space. However, they don't want you to be so caught in fantasy that you forget that some of the things that you may be asking for, you got in the past and were not quite happy. So you need to get more specific about how you want to feel in your relationships. And they are prompting me to say, like, let it be broad when you think about relationships. Friendships, how you want to, if you have a career where you're in a company and you have a boss, how do you want to be treated by your boss? How do you want to be treated by your coworker? How do you want to be... what type of friendships do you want? What type of relationships? If you're already in a relationship and not seeking a relationship, still setting those intentions for your relationship to grow, for you guys to grow together. And for the past to be kind of burned and left in the past, to be the soil, to fertilize the soil of what's to come. Let's see what's in your 3D. What is happening in your physical reality? Scorpio North Node. 2 of Swords. In the next 3 months for Scorpio North Node. Okay, we have the Lovers and the 2 of Wands. I don't know. They came out together. but I don't feel it being together. Up. Okay. And the Empress in reverse. Okay. And on the bottom of the deck, you have Justice. So in the Two of Swords, I feel that you are torn between your head and your heart. It's like intellectually, you know that something or somebody is not good for you, but you seem to feel either you're not worthy of more, or you are afraid of the conflict that will ensue if you speak your truth. And I feel this covers a broad range of situations. There is, the common thread is this doing in life what is not resonating with your heart. It's not like your intuition is telling you otherwise. Your heart is wanting you to do otherwise, but rationalizing yourself out of it for whatever reason. But this reading so far is showing that if you are not aware of what your motivations are, they seem to be based in self-worth and external expectations or familial expectations. And the way things have gone in the past. So I'm just going to keep going. Or do you want me to get my words clearer for the Two of Swords? Past patterns. Yeah, they say we're going to get back to it later, so I don't need to stay on the Two of Swords. We can keep going. The Lovers. Here it can be very literal. A past relationship that is lingering in your psyche, something that has just ended or ended a while ago and still affects you. Some of you are in a karmic connection, and this is why it's difficult for you to walk away from this person. And if you're not, like you're very sure you're not going to walk away, it's difficult for this relationship to resolve what needs to be resolved. I also have the Lovers, though, as a reconciliation between two sides of yourself. There's a fly. But I have a very, very strong feeling of this is you and another person. And it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but it's someone close to you. Someone close to you is not regarding you, but it's not quite flowing the way it's supposed to. I shouldn't say the way it's supposed to, the way that you would like to. And for a lot of you, that is because you share karma with this person. And they are either meant to push you to state a boundary, right? Push you to a level of self-worth, or you're meant to push through together and the relationship continues, right? So we have the Two of Wands here that is... you have very clear choices of how to move forward, regardless of how you may complicate things in your mind. right? And this is coming by the heart chakra and the compassion card. And I feel that this is because the balance of give and take in this relationship is leaning towards you giving too much. You may be the taker in this situation, so leave that open as well. But I'm feeling that you who are watching this video are someone who is expanding intuitively, spiritually, emotionally, dimensionally, and you may be bonded with someone who is not interested in growing in those ways, which could be causing friction. And this is not about convincing them to come down the path with you, but you are entitled to be around people who respect the path you choose to take. Because I see here in the Two of Wands in one hand, you have, one hand is behind your back, and on the other hand, you have the whole world, right? And I feel this is in one hand, you're able to show yourself completely, and in the other hand, you're kind of holding your tongue to keep things smooth sailing, so as to not conflict. I feel a lot of conflict avoidance in this spread as well. And the Empress in reverse is also kind of denoting this to me, that you are not allowing your feelings to flow. And in that, this is an opportunity to recognize that in letting your emotions flow, you are creating. And in not letting them flow, you are creating, right? In that stagnant energy is still creating something. It's creating further stagnation in your external world. This is also coming through as a person who is oppressive in their energy. Like, they don't allow you to see your world in the way that you want to see it. They are very forceful with their opinions. This could be a female figure. This could also just be a feminine energy. It doesn't matter if it's masculine, the person is masculine or feminine. For some of you, I'm getting a matriarch of the family, or someone who's the head of a household. It's very oppressive of you almost feel this Two of Swords and Two of Wands feels like there's a lot of indecision of thought and action, because you are affected by a very close relationship that pulls on your energy and someone who suppresses your energy. I almost feel like someone who could be someone that you've known for a long time, who hasn't allowed you to evolve as a person. Like, you always be the little girl, you'll always be the person they had to defend on the playground. They have a strong personality and a strong point of view. And so I feel you needing to show up and be counted, and your relationships, and let your relationships fall where it may. Some people will support this wonderful new iteration of you, and other people will want you to stay where you are. And that is a choice you're going to have to make. I'm going to ask the question of how to bridge the 3D and the 5D, and I feel the mediumship card has something very specific to say. So the first card we have here is the Five of Cups. Then we have the Five of Swords. The Queen of Pentacles. This is going to be upright. No, it's not. And on the Lovers, pushing the Three of Swords. Okay, so you just look in the maze in the head here, and I think you can understand. You have one card of mental confusion, and then you have another card of mental / emotional grief, strife, confusion. And this is all on the Divine Masculine. So it feels like this is kind of what is challenging you at the moment. I feel you need to sort out how you feel and how you want to feel with the Five of Cups. And remember, so this is what they want you to remember. Okay. Step 1, sort out how you feel. Step 2, how do you want to feel? And step 3, realize that everything that you've lost, you make room to gain something. Right? If you lose a friend, a person, it's harder with disconnecting from family members, I know. If you lose a lover, this is all because it doesn't suit you and it doesn't fit you anymore, right? And this all coming on the Divine Masculine card is telling you that you do need to be your own advocate and act on your intuition, act on how you feel, and not wait for people to realize that you've grown, or that they're hurting you, or that this relationship is unhealthy in some way or not balanced. So they want you to be very willing to let people go. Let people, and I'm going to throw in situations, but I do feel this whole thing is people. Letting people go. The Five of Swords, so profound change and transformation is up for grabs. They're saying it's going to happen. It's all about whether or not you're going to let it happen, or if you're going to let it, if it's going to happen to you, or if you're going to participate in it. They want you to be a participant, a co-creator, and to ease things along, and also make sure you're doing things that soothe you through the transitions. The Five of Swords. I feel here, get ready for some conflicting opinions. And they're saying you need to get used to the fact, accept that not everyone will understand your point of view. And because a lot of what you're doing is healing. It's opening up healing within your community, your family, the spaces in which you operate. I feel very strongly that an ancestor is working through you. And this, again, I feel very specifically is like if you have a contentious relationship with an authority figure who is emotionally manipulative, that it's not only you who is healing, like who is navigating this relationship with that person. There's also like an ancestral pattern in that relationship. It could be how their parent was to them, and now their parent is working through you to heal a relationship, to heal their relationship. Take that as it resonates if you do ancestral work. And even if you don't, if that sounded very plausible to you, then, go ahead, take a look at how and if that affects you. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, I'm getting from the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is that you need not be so strategic at this time. You are really being asked to think with your heart and let that lead where it leads. Because I feel that the reason that this kind of came in reverse, this is continuing on the path of what you've planted and going to reap your harvest, and you have the rewards are external. Here I feel the rewards are internal, and you're going deep into the depths of what you have planted and re-evaluating, taking stock of what you have planted. So in this respect, I also feel that you're being asked to look at how you, if you have patterns in relationships, how you contribute to those patterns. And I could tell you energetically, it's mostly because you don't say what's on your heart. You may just be in an environment where, the heart, there's not a lot of, in this whole spread, there's not a lot of, other than the heart chakra itself, what's appearing in your physical reality is all mind and material. You have one cups card, one thing with emotions in all of your kind of 3D and navigation cards. But yet in your 5D, your heart plays a big role. You have friendship, compassion, and the heart chakra. And I'll go here to the 3 of Swords. Do not fear heartbreak. So they're saying heartbreak in some cases is just the realization that things were broken, that things are broken, or that the relationship's not working. But your heart breaks when you let the heartache stop. Right? It breaks open to release the ache and to definitely bring in a new wave. So yeah, that's what they want me to say. Heartbreak is the end of heartache. And so you need to allow that ending to happen. You need to allow endings to happen. And process what that ending means to you. Because in this one, you see this guy, the skeleton is sitting on the guy's head. This is a very unhappy scene here with the swords. And it's almost like it's weighing. For some of you, as I said, this is a past heartache, heartbreak that is still weighing on you. And for some of you, it's a relationship, a close relationship that you're in that has karmic ties. And there is the heartbreak, heartache of the past life together that is affecting the current life together. Does that mean that history has to repeat itself? No. It does mean, though, that you have to speak things into being. That cannot heal if you're not going to speak your truth into being. And that may mean that there is a storm and there is a lot of strife. There could be harsh words spoken, harsh truths, but with the violet flame and the manifest card, energies working in your favor, whatever is meant to be can be if you are approaching that conflict or that bringing of the feelings to the surface. If your intention behind bringing your feelings to the surface is to promote healing and not to be, right. Not to play the blame game, who's right, who's wrong. It can go there for sure. We're all human, it happens, but just hold the intention in your heart that however this relationship is meant to resolve, it will be resolved for the highest good of everyone involved. I am now shuffling what has to come through the portal of your heart. Number 38, the mystical shaman. Number 51, staff. Number 37, the moon. I'm doing this reading just after the full moon, so the moon coming out is very good. The full moon in Gemini. Oh. And Beauty Way. It came in the reverse, so I'm going to leave it that way. So with mystical shaman, what needs to come through the portal of your heart is what the true life, the true reality that you would like to create. So being honest with yourself about the life you want to live, the environment you want to live in. And, I understand that people may not want to change and may feel that where they are is completely, satisfactory. But the mystical shaman is telling me that regardless of how comfortable you think you are, there are places in your life, places and spaces in your life where you're simply accepting things as they are because you don't think that there's anything more necessarily. And the mystical shaman is saying, you need to feel, you need to let your feelings flow and your desires flow. And you need to dare to desire things and to desire better and know that you can have better. If you have a group of superficial friends, you should visualize for yourself a better group of friends, right? If you have a superficial, insensitive family, you should visualize yourself being surrounded by family who is more supportive. But we'll come full circle in a moment here. So then we have the staff by your intuition and the violet flame. You are here to lead a healing process through the healing of yourself. And you have a great capacity, even though you may be the one that people tend to walk all over, it's because you don't appreciate yourself as like the spiritual, emotional leader that you are. You are the heart in many spaces, is what I'm hearing. And people take advantage of that. And it's time for you to not harden your heart, but to open your heart as a sign of, knowing that you are protected and knowing that your sensitivity is a strength. The moon more acknowledgement of unspoken feelings, And with it coming by manifest, I feel that you should be paying attention to the cycles of the moon. You are very connected to the cycles of the moon. We all are, but some of us more than others in terms of its call to work with it on a regular basis. You may be more attuned to the cycles of the moon than you are to like 3D time, to the calendar months. Like, you seem to also have the calling to bring the unseen to light, which people also don't tend to like. They would rather keep things unseen. So you speaking your heart's truth is not a selfish act. You're not destroying anything, although you may feel like worried that you are causing distress and destruction with your truth. But your truth is your truth, and if it is destructive or painful to other people, it kind of has to be that way, because the reality is their healing will not happen if you don't do yours, right? And your heart is not steering you wrong. It's telling you something very honest. I also have a feeling that in the next 3 months, a lot will happen for you around the moon cycle, like in terms of how your relationships cycle and develop. The beauty way in reverse. While you are encouraged to speak your truth, when we have the compassion card here, again, that keeps radiating to me, while you are speaking your truth, be aware that you cannot change how people are. They can change their perspective if they want. They can choose to make more space for you. And if they don't, then they don't. And you really don't need to fight them. This is what I'm getting with this card. You really don't need to fight them. What needs to come through your heart is an unconditional acceptance of the fact that some people are just not going to grow anymore in this lifetime. Like, they're done. They're finished. That's the road they're on, and you cannot take them off the road. It's not your responsibility, and it's also not for you to sit down and gossip on the phone about and worry about and cause more drama around. If that's how they are, leave them be and put your energies elsewhere. I'm going to grab your final oracles now. Final oracles for Scorpio North Node. We have Spirit of the South. Yeah, I'll take that one. And no. Well, okay. Like I said, some of you is like very clearly you need to cut ties with people. So, Spirit of the South. Let me read from the guidebook. Okay. The Spirit of the South is connected to the element of fire and initiates you to the energy of expansion, radiance, action, excitation, and rapid change. When this archetype comes into your life, it brings about a need to head towards your soul's purpose without further delay or distraction. We all have a purpose to fulfill. The universe gives us little nudges and messages, letting us know which direction to take. Being aware of these messages and acting accordingly allow you to channel the Spirit of the South in a healthy, productive way. The universe always gives you plenty of time to change directions when you fall off course. If you ignore these warnings, the universe must step in and burn through that which leads you astray. You have received this card as a final warning that some changes must occur in your life. Continue to ignore these warnings, and fire will manifest in your life as chaos and destruction until you come back to your purpose. Embrace the gifts of the South, and you will find motivation and fiery passion to burn straight through your obstacles. I'm going to hold up the guidebook here because there is a let's say a ritual practice that you can do, and then like you can either take a screenshot or you can pause this video here and note that down of a little meditation you can use to call in the spirit of the South and the guidance that you need. Okay. I don't really need to read the no card or the guidebook for the no card because well, I'll show it to you. But anyone who has this deck knows what the no card guidebook message is. Oh, no. Okay. Sorry. I thought it was the card that says just no, 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 no. It does have a meaning, but yes, I will read it for you. Okay. No. You are being called to either pause or say no. Saying yes to something that isn't in alignment with you will drain your energy and your time. Hold out for a congruent, aligned 100% yes. Often we are looking for guidance to make a decision. It can be frustrating not to move into clear and considered action. However, timing is everything, and not receiving clear guidance is actually guidance in itself. We all go through times known as waiting periods. These are times crucial for our body to regenerate, the new paths to formulate, and the universe to begin creating things on our behalf. You don't need to be plowing forward all the time to move forward. A potent, congruent yes, when the time is right, will put you ahead leaps and bounds. Don't force things now just because it seems like the only option. Take a breather and wait. The waiting is actually very productive, for when the time for movement comes, you will be ready to dive right in. Use this time to regenerate and ponder what you truly want. Consider the options. If the options are not clear, don't fear, because this time is a gift. Use it to tend to your garden and take a rest, to take a moment from your busy life to clear the decks and prepare for the time in the future. For come spring, clarity will bloom and you will have the reserves, space, and drive to say yes and act and move quickly. Yeah, so take the time you need to make decisions that need to be made or that you are confronted with. So, Scorpio North Node, that is your 3-month reading. I hope that something resonated with you. I will be doing ascension messages from different galactic cousins and family members. So that will be what I'm doing throughout the month of December, leading into the new calendar year. So I hope you can tune into that. And otherwise, I wish you all the best, and I will see you next time. Take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye for now.